So today we have the new MJJC Foam Cannon. This is the version 3.0, so their third iteration of this foam cannon. Now this is something that we've had a few requests to review on some of our other foam cannon videos. We've done the MTM, the PF22.2. We've also done the Meguiar's snow foam cannon as well. We've had a few comments. What about the MJJC? How does that stack up compared to the rest? So we're going to find out today. This is brand new. Thanks to MJJC for sending this our way to put to the test today. We'll be completely honest in our thoughts around this. The go-to foam cannon for us has been the MTM PF22.2 for quite some time. We love the quick disconnect system onto our MTM gun. One of the shortfalls of that product, and they have actually reiterated it and brought a new one out, but has been the actual bottle design. So a little bit top heavy, really small spout on it. We really like the stainless fittings on it though, so we'll unbox this, get it set up, and show you how this one foams.
All right, so the first thing you need to work out is how much pressure your pressure washer's pushing out. Sort of around that 1000 PSI, you need to change the orifice size in this foam cannon. Now, go onto the MJJC website. They've very kindly done this for you. They've worked out what sort of pressure washer ranges you need, and then that will determine what sort of orifice you need to put into your foam cannon. Otherwise, foaming will be absolutely terrible. So I will show you how to do that. So here in the little packet, you can see that that's the orifice we'll be changing. So they've said on there, use, what does it say? Spare part 1.1 millimeter orifice. No need if your pressure washer is over 110 bar. So what's that, 1600 PSI?
Yeah, 1595 PSI.
So yes, our pressure washer in the tube at the factory in perfect conditions does put over, ours is about 2000 PSI, isn't it?
Something like that. The real world is
real world. Yeah, by the time you put nozzles on, all that kind of stuff, and we dumb it down, we're around about 1000 PSI, so we will be needing to change this. So in the end of the part that actually is going to generate the foam is the little gold thing that we're going to take out there with a flat end on it, and you just want to unscrew that. They're usually in there pretty tight. And out it comes, and then we're just going to swap that with our other orifice.
So if you're finding you're not generating ample foam, the first thing I go and do is check your orifice size. Make sure that you do have the correct one in there for the specs of your pressure washer.
And you can tell because the one that I've just taken out, which is that one, the hole, I don't know if the camera will show it, is much smaller or much bigger than the one that we're about to put in. You just want to screw that back in. I think an upgrade here is what they could do is most people are going to be around that 1000 PSI with their pressure washer anyway, well, they're definitely going to be under 1600.
Well, I mean, you need a gas pressure washer really to be putting out those real world volumes.
This should come already pre-installed, because I think majority of people are going to have to be taking this out anyway.
To the 1.1. Seems to be the case with most foam cannons, though. They have the incorrect orifice size for what the average consumer has.
Bottle. Now that's really important. So a lot of bottles before this sort of model came out was that it was very narrow, it was all one shape. This here was very narrow, and by the time you get the weight of this on here, it would topple over. So this is quite nice that we've got a bit of a wide base, bit of a wider neck here, so it's easy to get your soap and stuff in here to get your right mix and your right dilutions up. So that's a huge improvement. This here is the part that's going to generate the foam. So it's going to suck the water and the soap through the tube. There's a bunch of aeration process that goes on there and different settings on the top here, and then it's going to push through that nice aerated soap that's going to foam onto the paint, and that's what gives it that cool YouTube effect. This thing here is pretty generic actually, so a lot of this is pretty much the same design on a lot of foam cannons, pretty consistent throughout a whole heap of different brands, but what's different is the bottles. And so I would look for a bottle that's got wide base, bit of a wider neck on there, because that just makes things a lot easier for you.
And then on the top of the actual foam cannon itself there, if you pick that up, just like any other, you've got two different modes of adjustment.
I don't know which way it is, but you want this to be turned completely that way or completely that way. Now if you get real runny foam, it's because you need to turn this the other way. I don't know which way around it is, so we'll have to have a play with that. And then on the end here is the fan setting, so
be able to see that rotating on the inside.
Different fan settings where you can have a real nice wide fan or a real narrow fan. Set that up to how you like. What else is also quite nice is the tube. The pickup tube here has got a nice metal ball on the end, so that if you're sort of foaming from a different angle, this here will just slope down and pick soap up. So that's quite cool that you can sort of do it on different angles. Otherwise, Otherwise, what we found before is that it struggled to pick soap up if this tube's sort of solid and stays in the middle, especially when you're getting to the lower end of the soap. So that's a nice little extra feature there. Now we've opted for the quick disconnect because of how our pressure washer is set up. You know, our gun and our hose all has nice quick disconnects, so that's what we have on the end here. But if you go onto the MJJC website, there will be a whole heap of different options that this part will be different based on your pressure washer. So I know if you've got a Karcher one, the end of this is a little different. They'll give you a Karcher tip that will go onto here so that you can then attach that onto your gun. So I think there's also Nilfisk and Stihl and a whole heap of others. So just make sure that you're getting this part is probably the most important part to match up with your pressure washer, and in particular it's the gun part of your pressure washer, otherwise none of this will work very well. So to be able to generate really good foam, half the problem is having a good foam cannon. The other half of the problem is actually having a real good snow foam that's going to be able to generate some really good foam. So our favorite soap is GSF, Gentle Snow Foam by Koch Chemie. We're making a video as we do this, so that if you want to see what this is like, go back, check out that video. But this is some of the best smelling soap on the planet. Cherry scent, beautiful. I'm going to put 150 mils of soap into our foam cannon, and I'm going to fill it up with deionized water to the 750 mark, and I'm just roughly guessing that that's what we're going to do.
Well, this is the typical dilution we use in other foam cannons as well. That 150 ml of product with the 600 of water we find produces a really good consistency of foam.
Tell me when I'm there, because I can't see.
It's 100.
100.
And
what's really good about this bottle, actually, I've just noticed, is that it's clear or see-through. A lot of them sort of have this hazy white look or a sort of hazy finish to the bottle, and it makes it really hard to work out how much product you've got in here, but I can see exactly. So that's a nice little key difference there. I like that.
I think the wide mouth on there is handy as well. Like, you haven't spilt any product. Typically you have to be really careful in your
and this is DI'd water here, so we use DI water so that we don't get water spots and all that sort of stuff while we're working out in the sun, because typically when we're filming videos it takes us a little bit longer to make videos. We'll make sure we've got a nice mix up. And we are ready to foam down the vehicle here. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why we opt for a quick disconnect system, is that here's our fan setting that we use to rinse the vehicle down. I haven't rinsed this one and I'm not going to, because I want to show you the foam. Out with one attachment, straight in with the other. Now if you don't have that set up, you're going to be like on a Karcher setup where you're going to have to use your gun and things like that. It's kind of a twist lock thing, but maybe this is where you eventually get your set up to over time when you start to enjoy these products. So the chances are of this producing really good foam straight out of the box is pretty slim. We've got to do a couple of little adjustments here, so don't get embarrassed about, oh man, I've spent all my money on this cool foam gun setup and it's junk and it doesn't work. You've got to play around with the settings here. Now, we've turned this around 100 times. I have no idea where we're at. Fan settings all sort of too small there, but so I'll do all the embarrassing work for you, but you can see how I adjust this so we get nice foam onto this vehicle.
One of the things on here that I've actually noticed is your fan is horizontal there right now.
Yeah.
Wes, you want vertical. Vertical is the way to go. You're painting the car.
Turn that round till you get vertical. I don't know, let's go real big fan setting because that'll look real horrible on here. Right, wish me luck. So that is way too thick. We did have this set up right to start with though. Okay, so far we've got pretty decent thick foam onto the paint here, but the jet of the foam is way too narrow. We sort of want to increase our fan so that we get a nice fan up and down on the body of the paint here. So let's... That's a bit better, and I think we can go even narrower again. Oh wow, so that's really narrow, shooting it right over the car, so let's jump that back a bit. And you want sort of something there. That has produced really nice thick foam. So I'm just going to paint the car like I would if I had a spray can in my hand, bottom up. And there we have it. We have produced some really nice thick shaving foam. The reason why you want to use a foam cannon is so that we get really great coverage of our soap onto the paint. Soap contains a lot of surfactants and stuff. It's going to start to break down the dirt and grime, and it's going to pull it to the bottom of the paint slowly. And by lifting that dirt off, we then have really nice lubricity with our wash meter so that we can come across and scoop that dirt off and put it into our wash bucket. Okay, so there you've seen us foam this vehicle down with the new foam cannon by MJJC. So this foam cannon is fantastic. I really like the bottle. The clear bottle makes it really easy to get our dilutions right. Wide base, narrow at the top there, makes this real stable for when I'm filling it up. I like the wide neck so that I can get all my product in there. This nozzle here at the top that generates the foam has done a pretty good job. I'm really happy with the consistency of foam that we're getting onto the vehicle, but that is also helped by using really good soap to be able to do that.
I think the thing for me that stands out the most on this foam cannon is just that clear
bottle.
Really easy to see what's in there, really easy to get your dilution right. And something that's quite frustrating on some of the foam cannons is the actual levels are not very well imprinted. Whereas I feel like this one here, yep, they're hard to see right now, but your lines are actually quite wide on there.
And they're rigid as well.
Yeah, they're marked every 100 mil. So I feel like it's quite easy to get things right with this foam cannon rather than having to play a bit of a guessing game.
So this foam cannon, dependent on your sort of exchange rate, is roughly between somewhere $80 and about $110, which is pretty well priced considering that every other sort of foam cannon on the market is roughly around that price. So grab one of these, add it to your detailing arsenal. I don't think you'll be disappointed, but that's it from Omni Garage. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.